For many Americans adopted from their native Korea, reuniting with their birth parents is as important as a wedding or a funeral. And although the pandemic has largely put a stop to those celebrations, it didn't stop a Mentor woman from taking a leap of faith. News 5's Jordan Vandenberg now with the story of meeting while quarantining.
Family is both blood and bond. But for Mallory Guy,
Truly a trip of a lifetime.
they didn't come at the same time.
I was adopted when I was 7 months old from Korea.
Mallory has only really known life in America. Adopted and raised by American parents, Mallory, now a mother herself, always wondered.
Growing up in my head, I kind of made up different storylines as to why I was given up.
In 2013, she did a 23andMe DNA test. Months and years passed, and Mallory didn't think much of it. That was until September 2019.
I randomly checked it maybe like 3 times a year, not very often, because I kind of forgot about it and, it wasn't a main focus. So when I looked, I was shocked. I was shocked. I had goosebumps.
It was a match to a great aunt in Seattle. Remarkable, sure, but that single connection would be just the beginning.
I never flew internationally by myself, or by myself in general. So that factor alone, it was I was a little bit nervous.
14 hours in the air and another in the car. On a September day south of Seoul, the wait was over.
They welcomed me with open arms and treated me like, their daughter. And it felt very natural. Everyone was just very loving and welcoming and made me feel at home. So it was very nice.
They ate, drank, and communicated through a translation app.
It was all truly amazing.
Mallory's quarantine was spent catching up.
It was overwhelming, meeting people that you never thought you'd meet ever, and just being in a different country and not knowing where you're at. All those factors played in, and it was just a very overwhelming moment. It's hard to describe.
For more than a month, Mallory, her Korean parents, and her siblings traveled all across South Korea. It was a trip of a lifetime.
I have so many pictures, which is great now that I can look back at.
But her fondest memories come from the nights around the table, where she learned the why behind her adoption.
The main focus was my cleft lip and palate. I kind of figured that they probably didn't have the resources to help me with that, and they wanted me to have a better life. Once I became a parent, I knew, how hard that must have been for them, and it was probably the greatest sacrifice you can make as a parent, wanting better for your child.
Family is both blood and bond, and for Mallory, even though they came at different times, she wouldn't have it any other way.
Parents' love truly stands the test of time, and it's truly remarkable to see how much I was loved throughout my entire life and not knowing that.
In Mentor, Jordan Vandenberg, News 5.
Mallory says her Korean parents are planning to come visit her in Mentor to meet her husband and American family. They hope to make that trip late next year.